Hello everybody, I'm Dimebot, and this is the beta for Warhammer Times Vermintide. Quite the mouthful, isn't it? So, what is Vermintide? Well, Vermintide is a horde game currently in development and set for release for October 23rd, 2015. Now, before we go any further, I would like to reiterate that this game is still beta. It's not finished, and it's not yet optimized. So, while it ran fairly well in my time with it, you're going to see some hitching and tearing here and there. This is really done with the fact that the game's not been optimized at all. I expect Fatshark to get a handle on this by release. I certainly hope they do, as the game in its current state is pretty damn good, and optimization should help it be even better. You also may have noticed I didn't call it a horde shooter. That's because Vermintide places a heavy emphasis on melee combat. So you get several classes: the Witch Hunter, the Bright Wizard, the Dwarf Ranger, the Way Watcher, and the Soldier. Each of the classes has got their own unique weapons. So your Witch Hunter has a sword and a brace of pistols. The Dwarf Ranger's got a hammer and a shield, along with a crossbow for range damage. The Bright Wizard casts fireballs and can charge up an AoE spell, but also has a sword that they can pull out in a pinch. Of course, it's on fire as well. In addition to this, the classes each have a unique ability. So the Bright Wizard is going to have to vent heat from casting spells, otherwise she'll explode, literally. The Witch Hunter can pull out 2 of his pistols at once for rapid fire shots. He can't move much while doing it, but if you need firepower in a pinch, it's a really good option. And the Dwarf can use the shield to knock enemies back, and so forth. Of course, a game that relies on melee combat in the first place has quite a challenge on its hands. Fatshark really seems to have nailed the first-person melee combat so far. Weapons feel weighty with immediate impact behind swings. You can block, and when you do so, the shield is going to pop up, and that's basically going to denote the amount of blocks you have remaining before you get overpowered. So certain classes will have more. The Bright Wizard's going to have just a couple of them, whereas the Dwarf may have 5 or 6 of them. This isn't absolute, however, because something like a Rat Ogre, which is a giant Skaven, the enemies in this game, is quickly going to smash through that and just leave you vulnerable. You can also do things like charge up an armor-piercing stab with the Witch Hunter, which will go right through armor and do a great amount of damage. You can score a headshot with a crossbow, and they all feel great. They're all nice skill shots, and they add a lot of depth to the combat system. So, great combat is only a part of a horde game, though. And the Skaven in Vermintide really help fill in the part of fantastic enemies that you need in this type of game. So they're the rat creatures that you see, and they pop up in absolutely menacing hordes. They boil up from the sewers, they mass in the shadows, they climb up cliffs, which is great because then you can just bash them back off the cliff, or they drop down from high walls. So they pretty much behave accurately to Warhammer lore. If you run into an individual Skaven, the odds are he's not going to want to have anything to do with you, and he's going to run. Odds are he's also going to go get a whole shitload of friends and come back for you. You've got Globadiers that allow poison into the middle of battles. You've got Gatling Skaven that will focus in on one of your party members and just pour gunfire into them, which is great because they actually tend to get singled in on that target and focus on one person, allowing you to get around to take them down. You've got these hooker rats. Now you've got these Skaven. I can't remember the name of them right now, but they basically will grab you around the neck with a pole and drag you away from the party. And then once you go down in true horde mode fashion, you have a set amount of time to bleed out, and during that time, your team can come save you. If they let you bleed out, of course, they can rescue you later. You'll be in, say, an enemy camp where they can come rescue you. So it's a very interesting co-op game. The Horde of Skaven is at once terrifying and also immensely satisfying to fight. All this is really aided by the visceral feedback the game provides. Blood is going to explode from gunshot wounds, limbs are going to fly off, heads are going to leap off shoulders, or sometimes just pulp. The combat is absolutely brutal, and it's incredibly gory, and satisfyingly gory, actually. There's nothing quite like blocking a Skaven attack with your sword as the Witch Hunter, kicking the back, and then seeing the Dwarf Ranger come in from the side and literally crush the Skaven's skull like a rag. It's visceral, it's bloody, it's satisfying. Absolutely a great point of the game. It really drives home that feeling that you are a warrior going up against a horde and you're forced to So, one part of a horde game, of course, that is crucial is loot and progression. In fact, Left 4 Dead is probably one of the most well-known horde games, and I actually don't like Left 4 Dead. And one reason I don't is because there's absolutely no progression in Left 4 Dead. You move through the levels, yes, but character-wise, no. Every character is basically the same class, just different skin and a different voice. They can carry the same guns, they do the same things, and in the end, it doesn't matter who you play. In Vermintide, each class is unique as well as customizable. So as you play, you're going to level up, you're going to unlock new weapons. You're also going to get weapons from looting chests and levels for dice and tomes. So you get these dice, you get these tomes, and once you reach the end of the level, you get to play a little dice game, and it's going to roll for loot. I only got one blue weapon in my time with the beta, but it was awesome. And I also unlocked a Gudge Raker shotgun, a pair of twin swords for my Waywatcher, just really interesting weapons. And you can equip these and change up your playstyle with a character. So if you want to send the Waywatcher in as just a dual-wielding maniac, you can feel free. You want to make the Ranger even more ranged, yeah, go for it. You can put, you know, a couple crossbows, a ton of stuff on them. It's a great idea on Fatshark's part because it allows players to experiment with different sets of items, playstyles, while they fight to survive, which is what you're going to be doing in this game. This game absolutely holds up back. And there's some other twists that are really throwing. There are boss characters that you're going to run into. There's levels that are going to require you to hold the line while you're trying to carry explosive barrels to an objective in order to, say, blow down a gate or destroy doom wheels. You're going to have to wait for a fairy to arrive and get you out of trouble at the end of the level. There's a really nasty thunderstorm. I'm not showing it because the lighting and weather weren't complete, so I don't want to put that out there right now because they're not ready. But you know, in the background of this level, there's a castle that's crumbling, just all kinds of stuff going on. And then you need to watch out for Skaven patrols, and these things are terrifying. They're basically elite Skaven warriors that patrol randomly through the level, so unless you and your party are well equipped, you do not want to tangle with them. So their presence is going to add this really great sense of always having to be aware of your surroundings. You can't just run blindly through a level. You might want to rush into that square to grab that ammo and health cache over by the fountain, and you might hear that telltale cadence of the patrol marching and calling out. And you have a choice here. You can hide and avoid them, which I would recommend unless you're just really gung-ho. Or you can take them on, and taking them on, yeah, it can lead to some rewards, but here's the thing. If your party wipes in a level, you don't get any loot. You keep all your experience, but to get your loot, you have to finish the level. And this puts a great risk-reward into every single choice that you make in Vermintide, very smartly on Fatshark's part. So you can divert from the main path, you can explore around, and these are not linear levels. Yes, they have guiding areas that are going to push you in a certain level, certain corridors, but you can go off into alleyways, you can go into other floors of buildings, you can go into houses along the way and look for chests and things, so quite often there will be something there. Sometimes there'll also be a horde of Skaven there waiting to rip your throat out, but the levels are not completely linear, and you have to worry about these patrols and everything else going on, and it adds this sense of freedom, a sense of exploration that I really enjoyed, and a sense of always being at risk and always juggling that risk-reward. Do I go looking for this, or do we just go ahead and try to get the level finished to get out so I can get my loot? So I think really that so far Fatshark has found an absolutely great balance with Vermintide. The game, it looks great, the melee combat feels solid, it feels impactful, it's doing things that I haven't seen a lot of other first-person melee games do that just feel really good and really unique to this game. The enemies are diverse, you've got the Globadiers, you've got the Gatling soldiers, you've got hulking rat ogres, and who knows what else we're going to see. So they keep you guessing, they keep you wondering what's coming. Levels are expansive, they're really fun to explore. You've got these great flexible character classes that truly do feel different, so that really sets the game apart from other horde cheaters. And, you know, honestly, if I had to level any criticisms of the game at this point, I sometimes felt like it might have needed a few more objectives to break up some of the longer levels. Levels can go from 10 minutes to even 30, 40 minutes. You launch from the inn. You all gather around the inn. It's basically where you pick up your party. You gather around the map table. You look at the map. You vote on the mission you want to go to, and then you set off. And some of the missions are very fast-paced. Some of them are not, and there can be lulls. So, of course, the game isn't finished, and we only saw a small slice of it in the beta, so that could be fixed. It could just be what they showed us, and it could just be me as well. It's purely, you know, an opinion on my part. Sometimes I felt like it was dragging a little bit. But that being said, I think this game's definitely one to watch. It's coming out on October 23rd on Steam, so I'm definitely going to be looking for it. My name is Dimebot. Thanks for watching. Like what you saw? Click subscribe so you don't miss anything, or click on one of these other videos.